everybody, and thank you for joining us here at CBLT's channel. Just want to let you guys know what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be giving company updates, industry updates, answering any questions you guys got. So if you have any, don't be afraid to send them over. And of course, introducing members of the team. So who better to join us to kick us off with video number one than President, CEO, and Director Peter Clausi. Peter, how are you doing today? You doing well?
I'm doing well. I like your library. I'd like to be there.
About to say, I just tried to match your background. You're in your new place. It looks beautiful, man. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it. So first and foremost, I just want to know, to paint a little picture for people, what got you interested in this field in the first place, and how did you get involved with CBLT?
Well, I'm originally from Timmins, Ontario. And if you're from Timmins, you know how important mining is to a community and to the country. So I've been involved in the public company business with an emphasis on mining since about 1992. Mm-hmm. I'm an Ontario lawyer, investment banker, and shareholder rights activist. So mining is ripe for all three of those things.
Fair. All right. So then tell me the story of how you wound up getting involved in with CBLT. Give me just a little 411, how you got involved, and then like kind of what your role looks like now there.
Well, for the past 30 years, I've been a problem solver. In 2011, I got a phone call from a broker who was putting together a mining deal, ran into some problems. He asked me to help fix them, which I did. Mm-hmm. The company then was called Green Swan Capital. Bought some properties up in the Ring of Fire, and I've been CEO since. We've had the same CFO since, and the same board of directors now for 4 years. One of the directors has been on for 8 years, and it's a very, very active board. Which I like. I don't like board members who just sit there and milk options and don't do anything. Yeah. Right? Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Give me some ideas. And our board is very good for that.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So then, aside from being a problem solver, kind of map out for people what your role actually looks like on the day-to-day for the company.
Well, I'm in charge of strategy, which I run through the board, property acquisition. We've done a lot of M&A within CBLT and done it profitably. During the big cobalt boom, we bought properties cheaply and sold them expensively, mainly to Australian public companies. So we did really well on the M&A. You can tell we've done well because in the 11 years that the company's been around, it only has 73 million shares out, and we've never, ever done a consolidation.
Good. Yeah, you're hitting a lot of the points I want to get on here. I was going to ask you about the outstanding shares. So great. Glad to hear it. And I think you touched on a really important point there too, when you said cobalt. All right. So that's obviously where the name of the company came from then, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And the company color is close to a cobalt color. We couldn't get it right. We think that the green energy space is going to explode over the next decade. That's not a lithium joke about explosion. The whole area is going to go. It's going to be driven by a move away from fossil fuels and the expansion of nuclear energy. As nuclear energy expands, so too will all the other green metals. Mm-hmm. We're positioned fairly well to benefit from that.
Yeah, I think diving a little bit deeper, when you say green metals, I think people need to understand the connection between these metals like cobalt and so on, and lithium, and the batteries used for a lot of what's going to fuel this EV revolution that seems to have already been started kicking into gear. You're seeing Tesla and lots of other companies now pumping out significant larger amounts of these e-vehicles.
It's a trick of physics that we call it a lithium ion battery. Mm-hmm. There's more cobalt than lithium in there. Huh. There's a lot of things more in there than lithium, but it's the lithium ion that travels from the anode to the cathode. And that's why it's called a lithium ion battery. You also need copper. You also need nickel. Yeah. You need all of the rare earth elements. You'll also need scandium, which is often lumped in with the rare earth elements. All of these will fuel the batteries and the nuclear revolution that's coming. Canada is well suited to fuel that. We have some of the best mining jurisdictions in the world. We have a very good system for the raising of capital. We have some of the best mining schools in the world. We have an educated group.
Good. Last but not least, before we go too deeper into the intricacies of this future demand boom, which we're kind of seeing for all of these rare earth metals, tell me what projects you guys currently have on board right now, what you guys have been working on recently.
We've been working in southeast Manitoba in the Bird River pegmatite field. And if you're a lithium fan, the word pegmatite gets you all excited. And we've been working in Hemlo at our gold project. Forest fires have been a problem for us in both places this year.
Yeah.
It was a bad fire season in Manitoba and in Ontario, so you couldn't get into the field to work. However, at our property in Manitoba, which is called Shatford Lake, we have had our structural geologist in mapping and taking samples. We hope to have assay results from that by the end of September.
Wonderful.
And in Hemlo, we're putting together a drill program. We're engaging with First Nations, which is job one, engage with First Nations.
For sure.
And our PGO is well known to them, and we're going to run a really good program where everybody is a winner.
Good, good. And everyone, we'll keep you updated on that stuff with videos as updates come along the wire. But Peter, kind of the last thing I want to touch here is if you would say there's one X factor. Now, we've already touched on the EV market, but more specifically for CBLT, one X factor or catalyst that could be coming that people should be looking out for the company to see some larger success. What would you say that is?
Well, it's a funny answer for you, but we are the single largest shareholder in a company called Ready Set Gold. We sold them the North Shore Gold asset, and that management team proceeded to mess it up. Their last financing was at 75 cents. They're currently trading at 16. As the single largest shareholder, we are not happy.
Yeah.
And we will run a slate of directors at its next shareholder meeting. And we will take over the company, restore relations with First Nations, and build out that asset.
All right. Sounds like there's a lot of things on your guys' plate right now and a lot of really interesting future propositions. But for now, is there anything else you want to add? Anything people should know before we leave today?
I'm available to the shareholders pretty much 24/7. Most people have my phone number. You have my email address. If you want to contact me, please do.
Perfect. Glad to hear it, Pete. Thank you so much for coming on. It was great talking to you, and thank you everyone for watching. And I can't reiterate it enough. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and we'll happily dive into them for you. But for now, Peter, have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Michael.